Welcome. Dr. Steve Green here, the Success Doctor, with another super exciting live presentation. And these have been going really well. I'm getting some really good feedback. People seem to be getting value out of it. So I'm trying not to just clutter the world and the airways with useless information. Two things today, briefly. One, I want to thank everybody for the feedback from yesterday. If you weren't on or didn't hear it, I'm trying to make contacts with people who deal with students, deal with my population, whether they're professionals or administrators of schools or psychologists or things like that, or the people more in the social and like martial arts schools and dance schools and things like that. I had 5 or 6 people reach out to me. What I'm trying to do is get you involved in my community to be a resource for people in the community, the parents and the students who are looking for help, advice, so on and so on. Also, potentially to be guests on the podcast where we can bring a broader message of what you can do and what you can offer. So thank you. But today, big thing today, most of my students who are in school, their first marking period is going to end soon. Very, very important time of year. The grade, big grades are obviously important. So some tips, some action tips, which is my whole theme on the podcast and here, action tips on how to end your first quarter strongly. Okay. Number one, and I could probably stop after this one, but I won't. If you know me. Number one, plan ahead. Okay. Don't wait until the last minute. Nothing gets me more frustrated, and I'm sure as most parents, I have children too. I got a test next Tuesday. Kids wait until Monday night at midnight to start studying for it. Definitely frowned upon. Okay. Not a good idea for many, many reasons. For most of it, just doesn't work well. Okay. I don't care even if you know the material well. Plan ahead. Write stuff down. Get a calendar. And if you get Maximum Education, the book, there's all sorts of stuff there on time management and calendaring and planning. But know what's coming up and plan and chunk your work. So if you have a test next Wednesday and today's Thursday, do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit Friday, a little bit Saturday, so on and so on. And just think about what you're going to do. So plan ahead, number one. Number two, organize and write down areas of need. Whether you're working with a tutor or an academic support person or whatever, like myself or somebody else or no one, it doesn't matter. Collect what you need help with. So when a teacher does a review, instead of just going, well, I don't really understand this. Hey, on page 305, or we had this worksheet on such and such a topic, I didn't understand number 6, or I need help with this, or whenever I see a problem like this, or whenever I have an issue with something like this, I'm not feeling 100%. So make a list, make a running list, get a page in your notebook or a page on a cloud platform someplace where you can have this. So when you need it, it's accessible. And you're not saying, I know I had a problem before, where was it? So 1, plan ahead. 2, keep a list of your needs. 3 is set up a study structure for yourself. Okay. So every day people go to school, they go to practices, they go to rehearsals, they go to whatever lessons they have after school. Then they come home and then they got homework to do. So structure that. Okay. Structure that. Set some of the time of your homework to do whatever's due the next day, which are called short-term work. And then set some of it longer term. What's next week? What's tomorrow? What's coming up? And use that time wisely, okay? And then sort of 3B is create an environment where you can get a lot of work done. I mean, a complaint I get all the time from parents is, my kid's doing their homework. They got their phone out. They're chatting. They got group chats. They got this. They got this. They got that. And I know they're sitting up there, but I don't think they're getting anything done. And probably the parents are right. Yeah, you're right. So make good, efficient use of your time. So just to backtrack, plan ahead, keep a running list of need, work efficiently when you do work. And the fourth and final one for today anyway, is don't let little fires become big giant fires. If you know you have a problem, and I'm not really talking about the things in that list I told you about, if you know you're going to have trouble with a math test or a history test or an English test or a paper you have to write, deal with it. Just face it and get in and work on what you have to work on and address it. And again, don't put it off till last minute. And you can see if you've been listening all along, these things kind of all cycle and kind of intertwine together because they are interrelated. So there's 4 things every student can do. And this is not only for students who are struggling and failing. These are for students that are getting hopefully good grades, A's, B's at the worst, but want to really take it to the next level with a higher level of comfort so they can get through these stressful stretches of school without a lot of anxiety and without a lot of issues going on. If you need help, if you need questions, that's what I'm here for. You can respond and comment below. Here's the web page. If you want lots of information, I think it's a great resource, including the podcast, which I love plugging shamelessly because I think it's got some great action items. There's a button right on the website where you can check out the podcast and get involved in the community. This community is growing. It's really exciting because I'm seeing people getting help and I'm seeing people asking and kind of interacting. It's encouraging. And I think it's just going to keep expanding from there. So let me see if there are any comments in the chat room. Usually get 1 or 2. Yeah, we do have one. Oh, this is one of my favorite questions. I'm paraphrasing. I try to tell my child what to do. I was a very strong student at school, so was her father, but they just don't listen. It always ends up being an argument or worse. I'm trying to keep them independent. They're old enough that they have to be able to do this, but I can't let them go and see them struggle. Okay. Anybody else out there? Raise your hand if this is an issue in your household. Listen, this is a horse to water kind of thing. It's about structure. It's about habits. I think there is a line where, as a parent, this is your job. This is your right. This is your responsibility to provide guidance. If you got a 17-year-old student, they're going to be going to college next year. That's something else. 9-year-old, very different. So you got to kind of pick your spots. You got to know when it's time to intervene and maybe when it's time to bring in professional support. But my answer, really more as a parent, because I have 2 kids as well, and I had the same issues personally, is partner with them. Don't make it if you don't do this, then. It shouldn't be a punitive thing. What can I do to help you? Is there something you don't understand that maybe I can work on you with? That may not go over so well either, but it's worth a shot. You want the kids to develop independence for sure, but you also need them to know that your job is to help them. So that's a tough one. It happens a lot. I hear it a lot. That's I could probably do a whole hour-long discussion on that. But just to reiterate, create the structure and create accountability. Listen, you want to do this on your own? Great, but I want to check it after a half hour and make sure that you're on track. It's a fair question for a parent to ask. All right, that's all we got for today. And frankly, I have to take care of some other stuff in the office here, including, if you kept up with yesterday, hopefully getting my main computer back. So I'm dealing with the technical pieces as well. Thank you very much. As always, I hope this is helpful. There's a link for community. Please join. I think it's great. Here's the link for the website. It has links to the podcast and all other things in the Make the Grade universe. So I thank everyone. If you have any questions or you're listening to the replay and you have questions, post them in the comments, direct message me, join the community, post them up there. And we're good to go. Have a nice day. It's beautiful here. Sunny, beautiful, like 70 degrees, I think. Get outside, enjoy. Won't be too many more of these. Thank you. Dr. Stephen Green, the Success Doctor, signing off.